Download the Local 3 News and Weather apps now.
Like a lot of you probably, I've gotten into this habit lately of kind of getting on my phone in the mornings and taking a look at my 401k, and sometimes I feel kind of okay, and a lot of days I'm not feeling so good at all. It's kind of a worrisome time right now when you're looking at your portfolio, but we're going to give you some ideas this morning because Kevin Fuerst is back on the show with us. He is with the Fuerst Financial Group. Good to talk to you.
Good to talk to you, Julie.
And I'm going to let people know that you and I were chatting a bit, and I said, what do you want to talk about today, Kevin? And Kevin said, what do you want to talk about? So we had this little chat, and I fully expected you to give me a lot of vague answers, but you didn't.
Oh.
You kind of gave me some specifics, because the number one thing off the bat that you're doing and that you say people should do is hold on to your cash.
At this point, yes, I think that's right. So any new money that you would bring into the office or would want to invest with your financial advisor right now, I think it's either holding cash or dollar cost average in, which means you put a little in every month. As the market goes down, you buy low. And so if it keeps going down, you're buying lower a little bit at a time. So it's just, there are strategies during this time that you can use to head off some losses. But
I've mentioned the 401k, right?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
A lot of people, don't be surprised if you're watching yours not do so great. That's the norm right now.
It is.
But you said if you're not already in a Roth, think about converting to one. Why?
Well, because, there's nothing better than tax-free money. So if you have an IRA and you can convert some of that IRA based on your taxes, there's things that you have to look at other than just you have an IRA and you're going to convert it. But now's a really good time to do what's called an in-kind transfer. So if you have IBM stock, 100 shares of IBM stock, and it's $100 a share normally. Now it's $50 a share. Well, it's lower in value, so you can get more shares moved over to that Roth, and then as the market goes back up, those shares will go back up, and you'll have tax-free money versus future taxable money, which it's just a good time to consider Roth conversions.
You know, no matter what your field is, if you've been doing it for a while, you just kind of learn the trends. So you're not a soothsayer and you can't totally predict things, but I asked you about the speculation that some people have that with the midterm elections coming up, that often can be a shift changer in the market. But you said even still, you can't ever really make a true prediction.
You can't, I don't think so. I think we'll see when it gets here. One, it has to happen first, the shift in our political situation. I think some of what we're facing is definitely poor decisions that have been made, and I understand some of the reasons why, but I think I don't think you throw the baby out with the bathwater, so to speak, and try to just go into this electric world that everybody talks about overnight. I don't think it's possible. And to me, the thing that hurts me the most really is some people just can't afford $5 and $6 and $7 a gallon gas, and that is painful, and it is hurting people's budgets, really.
Well, and I would imagine you're getting a lot of phone calls from your clients because we're all wondering how high is it going to continue to creep up, and if you're a family of 4, you certainly can't do it with people driving and then throw groceries and everything on top of it. But then there is the worry, if we freeze up too much, what does that do to our economy? Is that right?
Well, free up too much what?
If we don't spend our money, then what happens?
Well, then we'll eventually go into recession. Let's hope that doesn't happen. That's what they're hoping for now. At this point, I don't know how it's avoided with where we're headed with the oil. Oil, I think anybody will tell you that oil really controls a lot of things, from shipping to cost to produce to, at the pump. It's not just at the pump that we're paying it, it's across the board. And so something has to give at some point, and it's either going to be the political situation or how we're going after oil, or it's going to be the American public having to push through this, and who knows how long that takes. I don't know.
One of the things that y'all do at Fuerst Financial is you're also estate planners.
Yes.
So is this a key time to kind of be thinking about that ounce of prevention and maybe get in there and make sure that your estate's covered?
I think you have to look at everything. When it comes to estate planning or really wealth management, you look at everything. You look at taxes, you look at insurance, you look at where your assets are positioned, and then the estate planning part of it is, especially coming out of COVID, a lot of people were not prepared from an estate planning standpoint of what happens if somebody becomes incapacitated? What happens if we have to make decisions at the hospital? Do we have the documents in place to be able to do that? What happens when they pass away? How is that going to be settled? So I think those are all important things, and those are some of the things that we look at as we walk through what we call wealth management.
Do you do classes at Fuerst Financial?
We do. We do estate planning classes, we do asset classes, and then we also do Social Security classes.
I know we hear statistics a lot about how the majority of Americans are just a couple of paychecks away from really being in financial straits. Do we not have a good enough understanding of financial terminology in this country? Could we all use the education?
Probably not. I think we lack education in just the very basic of a budget and living within that budget and understanding how one thing can affect everything. I think oil's a good object lesson. One thing can affect all of us.
And it's hard to stay in that budget as you're watching the cost of everything around you going up, which might mean that these classes that he has to offer are all the more beneficial. Before I let you run, if people are interested in calling you and talking to you directly, should they be prepared for anything when they call? Are there limits on your portfolio that you need to bring?
We do what's called a complimentary consultation. To call the office, 899-8555, set up an appointment. We really just like to talk to people up front, make sure it's a good fit, make sure we understand what they're wanting, and then set a course of action of what we can do and how we can help them, whichever situation seems to be pressing.
So don't panic, hold on to your cash,
yes,
and watch for it because it is a good time to buy.
There will be a time to buy, that's right.
And the website is growkeepleave.com.
That's right.
The phone number, as you heard Kevin say, is 899-8555. So good to see you.
Good to see you, Julie.
Shop Academy Sports and Outdoors online and get $20 off when you spend $100 or more on Academy.com. Or get $10 off when you spend $50 or more. Buy online and pick up in-store. Visit Academy.com today. Ends May 25th.
From Lookout Mountain to Cleveland. From Red Bank to Collegedale. Luxury lives here.
Chattanooga Auto Square is your home for premium luxury automobiles.
And we have the largest selection